Pick a card. Why are you popular? Yes, you are. Here are your options. I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot. I'm here to do your reading. Pile number 1, on the right side of your screen is the image that you chose. Why are you so popular? And I know everyone's going to be thinking, I'm not popular. But you are within your own realm, your own circle, and probably more than you think. Pile number 1, the first thing I heard when I was channeling and watching or looking at this image was honey given, honey taken. I heard sweet exchanges with you, symbiotic energy, and that you see people. So pile number 1, one of your gifts is the ability to see other people and have a very tender heart about it. I feel like you really convey, I don't want to say simplistically, but I feel like you really convey to people that they are seen, that they are heard, that you really get them. You could be very gentle in nature because I feel like my energy kind of dropped and I feel warm and comfortable. I feel like you could make people feel very, very comfortable. And you're so popular because people want that comfortability. I feel like you come from a place of non-judgment, a place of love, a cooperative energy. I feel like you actively think about group needs and the needs of others before your own, maybe even to a fault, okay? So you might want to watch that. Pile number 1, let's get going here. Let's see what we have. Why are you popular? Well, because you're the sun. You'll find that people are drawn to the happy vibes and positive energy you're giving out. You'll bring light and joy to everyone and everything you come into contact with. I'm looking at the woods right here and how it's dark and how she is stark contrast with the background. And I feel like pile number 1, not only are you the sun where you really lend your light to other people so that they can see themselves for who they truly are, but I also feel like people think that you are an incredible treasure. When they stumble upon you, I feel like initially you could be one of those that gets overlooked or people have questions in their minds about you. And I'm getting a lot of social media. You could be somebody who's on TikTok quite a bit. Guilty. Pile number 1, why are you so popular? Lead the way, be the leader, show others how it's done. You can help others. So something about you is very warm, very comforting, and it doesn't matter male, female. I read energy, okay? So I feel like people are definitely attracted to you. If they're having a bad day, if they are in an emotional crisis especially, I feel like you're the go-to person. But also if they're in the dark, if they're stumbling around, not really being sure about what is going on in their own personal life, I feel like you're one to lend a hand and one to shed light on that as well. I feel like you are definitely the person who's underestimated, but once you get discovered, they treat you like treasure. People really value your friendship, your companionship. People look at you as being someone to be protected, to be taken care of. And I'm not saying that you haven't undergone some ugly times as well. But pile number 1, you are being told right now to really embrace yourself with confidence and lead the way. I feel like you could have a hodgepodge of people coming around. And this reminds me of my high school days where I was definitely not popular, by the way. Definitely not. But I'm going to say that I would walk in and, you know, I had a small group of friends. And if I saw other people that were not engaged actively, you know, in the company of others, if they were sitting by themselves and things like that, I would ask them to come sit with at our table. And pretty soon you had like metalheads and jocks and theater people all just kind of hanging out together. And it really just didn't matter. We became friends and it was pretty cool. But I feel, pile number 1, that you are someone like that, that You have a variety of people. And you know how they say birds of a feather stick together? With the implication being is that you only hang out with your own type. I feel like that is not true for you. And maybe it needs to go deeper than that. I feel like birds of a feather stick together. It would be more on the inside. If you guys have a vibrational match, if you guys have a lot of things in common, right? But I feel like that's more moving forward in future, more like having a heart for people and a love, more about philosophy and theology and maybe even spirituality. I don't know. But I feel like you attract a variety of odd ducks and different people, and I feel like you're okay with that. But other people can go, what the heck? I mean, among all these feathered creatures, we have this little guy with a tail. I don't know what kind of little creature that is. Super cute though. But anyways, you get the point. I feel like you definitely welcome a lot of different people in, and other people could be a little bit puzzled by that initially. But then once they get to know you, they're like, oh, that's pile number one. Pile number one has deep, deep love, and pile number one can see a lot of things that the rest of us see. And that brings me to another point. I feel like with all of these 3 images, I got different downloads. I got your gifts as well. So I feel like pile number one, you could be a seer. I feel like you could definitely see into the future, but I also feel like you have a deep connection to the past as well. So I'm getting like long range vision either way, which is really quite interesting. Let's find out a little bit more about you. Pile number one, why are you so popular? Yep, okay. The Hierophant. Now you can have a connection to pile number 2 because I was kind of channeling that as well through the images alone. But I feel like, yeah, like the past and then the present, I feel like you look at things from a paradigm shift. I feel like every time someone talks to you, you have the ability to take a slight step to the left, to the right, whatever, and look at things from a different angle. And you know that if you're an artist, pile number one, you set up your subject, sorry, not a setup like that, but you know what I'm talking about. You kind of prepare the subject however you want, and you place yourself in a place where you can best draw them or photograph them or whatever your art is. And it is just kind of good to kind of do a little walk around or walk through or take a different step and see if you can see a better angle, a different angle, and kind of glean more information that way. And I love this about you, pile number one, because I feel like you're not quick to judge. You're quick to kind of make an assessment. And I feel like your assessments are pretty true and pretty much on the money. But also with all of these fires, I feel like people could also develop like a longing for you. Even I didn't even notice this little person right over here. Look at how big my finger looks there. Pile number one, I feel like maybe your presence is a little bit overwhelming to other people once they really get to know you, because insofar as like you are maybe gentle and welcoming and loving, and maybe you are definitely someone who's like, okay, well, I have the truck, everybody pile in the truck, we'll go and you know, we'll take it from there kind of a thing. I feel like people can develop like secret inner fires for you, like a desire for you, whether you're partnered or not. Definitely not really even addressing that, but I feel like also you could be connected to sacred geometry. I feel like you open up people's worlds, but also your mind could be a little bit shrouded. Like you don't necessarily open up to everyone about what it is that you're thinking, and why would you, right? That's why it's that's why it's encapsulated in your brain. Your mind, maybe not. Moving on. Pile number one, I feel like people come to you when they are in really rough terrain, when they are feeling deeply emotional. They rely upon you to have this ability to even maybe kind of astral project, come out of your body. That's how it seems to them anyways, even if you're not somebody who astral projects. I feel like you have this ability to look at things from a higher point of view, different point of view, and bring down information that is needed for people around you. Now with the 5, I feel like this could be very changeable. I feel like you have different manners of doing things that really kind of surprise people, but in the end it makes sense. And I feel like also that you help people to not try to rationalize so much or try to put everything in linear terms. And it's like, you know, the only example that I could really, that makes sense to me anyways, is I feel like you tell people, well, you know, you use logic so much, right? And we value and esteem intellect. And not that it's a bad thing at all, but we're like, oh, you're so smart and this and that. But pile number one, I feel like you help people and even convert people secretly. They get converted by you because you have the ability to show people, okay, intelligence and intellect and logic and all of that and proof. Where's the proof? Okay, I'll show you the proof. Who do you love? And okay, you love your wife, you love your husband, you love your boyfriend, girlfriend, you love your parents, your children, whatever. Well, how prove it? How do you prove that? Like, prove it, well, by my actions. And yeah, but that doesn't demonstrate love. That's simply an action. I feel like in very similar fashions, pile number one, you have the ability to win people over in a very warm way without seeming like you're trying to win anyone. I don't think that's your purpose, but I feel like spirit works through you in many different ways. And so you're being told right now to have confidence to lead the way. And I know that this reading is supposed to be why you are popular. That was the intent when I set out here to film initially, but Spirit's like wilding and doing whatever Spirit wants. So the biggest takeaway from this is what Spirit says is lead the way, that you may not even know where it is that you're going, your trajectory, how you're going to get there, but continue doing whatever it is that you are doing, continue unifying people, and whatever it is that you do naturally. You're not going to be changing yourself for anything. Whatever comes naturally, that you actually have discovered the treasure. But pile number one, that you really are the treasure. And that's why people come back to you. It is always you. Pile number one, I want to let you know real quick that this is my second channel. And I want to thank so much of you, so many of you, all the many's, guys, for subscribing and just even engaging, interacting. I really appreciate that. This is my second channel. My first one is called PsychicMD. It's a little bit different than this one, so the vibe is different. If you want to check it out, great. I do have giveaways on both community tabs. You might want to check those out. And being a pretty new channel, not a lot of people are entering, so you can win. Moving on, pile number one. Why are you popular? You lend stability to people. You lend an openness. You have a spirit of non-judgment. I feel like you have the ability to vocalize what spirit, I'm all at the gods, and take that however you will, but I feel like you have a spirit of, excuse me, of being able to vocalize, from spirit, whatever it is that is beautiful, that is eye-catching. I believe, like with the image that we channeled earlier, I feel like you have the ability to help people see things the way you do, the way spirit sees things, and encourage them to move forward, to move on with the spirit of peace as well. Something about maybe you could be a speaker, a podcaster, or some kind of a presenter, right? I used to be really mesmerized by the people that would come through like the high schools and share their stories and stuff like that. So maybe you're one of those. I'm all one of those. But I feel like people feel a very big kinship with you, almost like you are a part of their family, you are a part of them. Also that you are an extension, almost like twinning vibe, okay? You could be part of the LGBTQ. I love that video if you haven't seen it. It's so cute. But anyways, it doesn't have to be, but I feel like you embrace people regardless of race and color. It doesn't make a difference to you. Pile number one, why are you so popular? I mean, hello. Okay, Two of Swords. So you enter into contemplation. You really think deeply about things. And I feel like people can see you kind of wrestle and wrangle with your own life, and you don't make any bones about it. But I feel like you're all heart, because the Two of Swords is one of like stalemate. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pause right here. I don't know which way to go. That kind of a thing. And I feel like I'm all, which way did it go, George? Which way did it go? That was like an old cartoon. But I feel like, yeah, you're just going to get all of your facts straight. You're not going to allow your emotions to lead you, and you're going to take a moment to breathe. And I feel like people that reach this point, stalemate in their life, that they come to you where the terrain is dry, it is dark, there's so many signs, and they get confused because they're overthinking. They also come to you for comfort, for a reset is what I'm hearing, for their brain just to be like, okay, let me decompress, or they got a brain dump on you. That's a thing in my world anyways. And I feel like they could really take comfort in your ability to be able to kind of help them decompress and regroup and then reset once again and go on the right trajectory. So I think that's really beautiful. With the number 12, lead the way, I feel like that adds up, and I feel I feel the numbers, you guys. Okay, so the 12, you know, reduces to a 3. And I feel like, to me, that's always cooperation, collaboration. Hence, we have the honeycomb within the girl's eyes on all 3 images. And I feel like, you know, this isn't like necessarily groupthink, but this is what is good for everyone. And I feel like you really want to elevate and help mankind to, you know, reach their highest potential. The same way that you are... you're meant to lead the way is the way that you help other people. Also, not only to forge their own way, but to lead the way in their own unique way and style. Pile number 1. We have the sun clarified by the strength card. I love these cards. This is so fun. So I feel like you are deeply in tune. Like the moon to me really resembles the divine feminine. And all of us have feminine, masculine qualities. I'm just going to say that you're really deeply intuitive. You have ancient knowledge and wisdom. You could be deeply attracted to like Egypt and things like that. You could be attracted to the moon and even the sun, of course, right? The strength, I think that's supposed to be a sun. But I feel like you lend that radiance outward. So you follow your intuition. And again, you open it up and help people to reveal the truth about themselves. And that's why you're so popular. Is people want to feel good. They want to understand better. And that's why they come to you. Also, you've conquered your inner demons. So this girl appears to have, and this to me is, you know, that divine protection. I call it Nimbus. But right here, it's almost like the lion knows, right? And she's going to harness that knowledge and move forward, and she's going to lead the way. So I feel like in so many different ways, you are unique. You have harnessed a lot of things that seem difficult to master. I want to speed it up because I'm not trying for like really long reads, but I can't do short ones apparently. Pile number 1, if you're liking this kind of reading, what? If you like this card, give me a like. I'm just kidding. Look at this. How beautiful. Okay, I so love these cards so hard. And I want to thank Helen with Eye of the Serpent Tarot. She actually was using this deck on her channel, and it is so beautiful. I'm like, where's the case? Here it is. If you're interested. The Highly Sensitive Tarot, and it's not hers, but she used it on her channel, and I fell in love with it. So I feel like you are somebody who like opens up the clouds. You part the clouds, right? You part all doubt and things like that. And I feel like you can help people see that they can bloom where they're planted, that things in their area are growing for their benefit as well, that you really show them what abundance is, to how to enjoy their own life, getting back to basics and things like that. Maybe even something about biking could be a thing with you. And maybe you do like cycling classes, or you bike, or you like to, I don't know, something to that effect. But yeah, with the 8 of Cups, I feel like you also help people to walk away from things that are toxic for them, no good for them, maybe cause them a lot of emotion. Undue stress is what I'm hearing. So I feel like you help people take action towards their better health, their better mental health, and also to a better future for themselves. That, you know, if the bridge is underwater and things like that, and it's not showing any signs of change, that you help really be that deciding factor that people go, okay, well, I'm done here. And they really respect and value your opinions. So you tend to navigate people. You're like a little navigator. Cute. Love it. Now we're going to use these little paint chips. We're not going to eat paint chips. I found these at a secondhand store, and I'm like, I think this would be fun. So let's see what's going on. Why are you popular? Endless dunes. So you help people navigate out of endless dunes, but you yourself have been, that's kind of a similar color. You yourself have been through a lot of rough terrains, and I feel like even you could be somebody who loves to go to the dunes, right? To ride quads and things like that. I mean, I don't know anything about that. I'm just saying. So what else do we have here? Golden Gate. So I pulled this on another reading. That's interesting because this paint thing is, it's big, and it literally looks like a paint chip thing, right? Well, anyways, I'm just going to say that this has, you could have like connection to San Francisco. Again, I'm getting like LGBTQ community and things like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be. You could love the color orange or burnt sienna, things like that. I feel like even you could be part of the Asian community. It doesn't have to be, but you can have a draw to that. I love a lot of the art that's like that. What else? Margarita. It's too early. It's not even like 6:30 yet. So Margarita, yeah. So your name could be Margarita. I don't know, or Margaret or something like that. But let me tell you, pile number one, that you really open up and help people to kind of play and really play within their own energy and realize that what they have and what they bring to the table is really extremely valuable. And that they too can forge ahead with like renewed optimism and renewed hope. And I feel like you could just be somebody who listens. And sometimes when I have something to pitch at work and I'm like, hey, I just kind of need to bounce things off, because I really believe in fostering a spirit of community and of helping one another and things like that at work. I know it sounds kind of hokey. I don't care. But I think it's important that we all just kind of, well, I do anyways. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And I'll toss out an idea and I'll get input from the other people that I work with. And it's really cool because I've been able to see a spirit of competitiveness really dissolve and become cooperative. And I've noticed that other people have taken on this characteristic, and they too themselves have been able to say, hey, can you kind of read this email and help me? Or I'll be like, hey, look at this text. How does it sound? Is it good? Is it maybe I'm triggered and I'm feeling charged and I need something to help balance me out and neutralize, some of the heat. So I feel like you are somebody who is really drawing people to you because of those very things. But you could be somebody who is also like influencing people to be more collaborative than competitive. And I love that, because there's nothing wrong with competing. That's great. I get that the Olympics are going on now. But anyways, I just feel like you are really about peace and navigating and forging your own path and holding space for other people. That is so important. So pile number one, I feel like I would totally vibe with you. And I want to thank you for being here on the planet, wherever it is that you are, and for being here on my channel. Thank you so much. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste. Hi, pal number two. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot. Thank you so much for being here. Why are you popular? And before you say you're not, give me a chance and hear me out. Pal number two, you chose this image on screen to the right-hand side. And when I was downloading, based on this image, I was getting, and I heard actually, honey tears, empath. You transmute by absorbing. That you're very spiritual, deeply so, is what I heard. And pile number two, I love those qualities. This was my favorite image out of all three. I have no idea what's going to come up, but here we go. Why are you so popular? The Hermit. So because you withdraw from people, you do your own thing. You do a lot of work. You do a lot of shadow work. I think that's really, really beautiful. And it's very important, because I think on my clock was 101 right now. That could mean something to you. I'm going to say that people just have a hard time going within and facing their demons and trying to work things out. And I feel like you have long gone within. You've been someone who maybe even has gotten headaches or agonized over things, but I feel like you're learning how to transmute that. And I also feel like you are very selective on how you spend your time, or maybe you're quite the introvert such as myself, or both, a combination thereof. It says you're entering your period of soul searching, self-reflection, and spiritual enlightenment. You may find that you need time alone to gain a deeper understanding of yourself. I'm looking at all the flowers right here. And one thing with the flowers I've learned from Shashi, her channel is called The Scorpion Tarot 222. So if you go there, say hello to her. I love her. And the one thing is, I feel like you lend a lot of beauty to other people, that you show that things are really beautiful, that when you can go within and transmute your own energy and face your own demons from your past. And maybe sometimes we need therapy to do this. Been there, done that, by the way. So no hate and no shade on that. I'm just going to say that you help people find beauty in what is left, right? And that moving forward, they can actually feel like life is beautiful, that they have transmuted that energy and they can look at it with spiritual eyes instead of like, you know, the pain or the mourning or the loss or the conflict that so often we feel associated with looking at the past. That's why we don't want to face it. So why you're so popular is that you're a deep, deep person. You are no shallow person. No shallowness right here. Pile number 2. Belong to your own dream, create your own lives. Yeah. So she's looking towards the left and then she has her eyes closed, but I feel like everything with you is very golden. Even the image, of course, we're looking at the images that we selected, the bees and the honey and things like that. I feel like this is saying that you are golden, that you're here to create your own life, but also it's influencing other people. And I feel like people want to take a page off of that. And also, people feel like you are very spiritual. Like I keep getting deeply spiritual on your reading. So we'll see wherever this takes us. But I also feel that you guys are beautiful. Male, female, it doesn't make a difference. I feel also that you are beautiful, that you have a little bit of a wildness about you. I'm looking at all the wildflowers around. That on the inside you could be very wild, that maybe on the outside you could be a little bit more like reserved or present as somebody who is more reserved. Let's have a look at why you are so popular. I feel like people can think, wow, I feel like there's more to the story, like you are golden, but something about you compels. Even flowers right here that I noticed before are really attractive and drawing and alluring for other people. And that makes people want to like get to know you and spend time with you. And yet, pile Number 2, I feel like you're definitely a lot of times in your own world, and I resemble that remark, so no judgment here. So pile number 2, the 7 of voices, okay? So I feel like this is my lone wolf, maybe my lone fox, right? We're going to do whatever this is what we do. And there's a little bit of like duality. And isn't that duality right here, which seems a little bit more like prim and proper and maybe dressed as Wednesday Addams, and maybe that's a thing for you. I love all of that. I love a little bit of the gothy vibe. The show was great too. So I'm going to say that right here, you can bring a lot of romanticism. People could really give you a romantic slant because you kind of tend to present to the world and then you dip. And it's like they know more. They want to know more about you, but you don't hang around long enough, or you don't allow yourself to be seen long enough for people to get to really know the true you, maybe little bits and pieces. And it's very gradual. Pile number 2, I feel like you could seem to other people initially as somebody who's very strategic, right? And they're like, well, how come, the drawbridge lays down for you and then you're walking across it? You don't invite anybody else into your world. Let's get closer. Sorry, that's my thing. Listen, pile number 2, I feel like people want to know what doors you have been through, how you walk through portals, how it is that you see things so differently than other people. And I'm even kind of like, even with the swirls right here, I feel like people think and maybe feel that you reverse time, that you maybe look more youthful than you've ever had before. And how's that possible? That kind of a thing. Or maybe you've always been looking more youthful than your age, right? And I'm going to say that something about cake, right? I mean, she has a cute backside, I'm gonna say it like that. Or maybe feet, people like your feet, things like that. But you're popular because you can dress, and then all of a sudden, I mean, look at this figure. It's so cool. She's like wearing the head of a fox or something like that. And so this could be saying that you're simply foxy, or that we just kind of want to know like where you live, more about you. And it seems like mysterious mountains right here. That's interesting. So maybe also something alluding to like your chest, like euphemisms. Maybe you're blessed with, a beautiful chest, whether big or little doesn't make a difference. But I feel like people want to cross that bridge. They want to cross that line. They want to come towards you. And again, ultimately, they want to know what is you. Pile number 2, what are you about? They want to know, because it seems like this is like a green and yellow. So I feel like that's heart chakra. That is solar plexus energy. What is it that drives you? And all of a sudden I didn't even notice that. Looking away, not looking at all. And this is like directly staring at the camera. So I feel like they really want to know what you're about. They want to get you like eye to eye with them. And they want to know, hey, when you disappear, when you go, like, people think you just disappear. What is it that you're doing? Maybe you're like me and you can do like an Irish exit. I learned what that was a little while ago. But maybe you get into crowds and then you're like all of a sudden gone, and people are like, hey, where's pile number 2? And pile number 2 is like busy doing their own thing, but they want to know, what is that thing? I want to come. Can I come? Can I observe? Can I understand what is this part of you that you're like a little bit of a fox, that you kind of like do this, do that, and it's a mystery. And before you know it, you are like gone. They want to know a little bit about your shadow side. I feel like we mentioned shadow work before. And I think that you can inspire people with wanting to do shadow work, with not being as afraid of it. She seems neutral here. She seems pretty angry here. And so, yeah, and their mouths are open a little bit like, ha ha. So this could be about, they want to know your shadow side. And maybe you have a lot of depth and layers that people are not privy to. And they feel like there is a bridge to cross, but they don't know how to approach it because you have like all of these. You have a lot of protection. You have divine protection. I'm going to say that. And you could be very protective with your energy as well, and selective as well. So let's just keep it moving right here. Pile number 2. Why are you popular? 8 of emotions. Yeah. So you have traveled long, far, and wide. And I'm going to say that it seems like she's barefoot right here. And with all of this beautiful like pink sand, it seems to me, I feel like, and then the sound waves right here, it's almost like you're answering to a call that nobody else can hear, nobody else can see, and that you are just a traveler, not just a traveler, but you're traveling, and you are, I heard, at the speed of light. So maybe you are somebody who can astral project as well. Maybe you are somebody who is answering the call that none of us can hear. Maybe you get your downloads from the sun and things like that. Maybe you believe in light codes and sacred geometry. Maybe you're into like, I'm all sonic waves. Hello, sound waves. Okay, sorry. But I feel like whatever it is, it's a little bit cutting edge, a little bit like people don't really understand what it is that you're going, where it is that you're headed. And it seems like this big gaping like darkness that they just don't know. And they want to be privy to that. And they're like, well, we really like pile number 2, and you're intriguing, and you're beautiful, and you're really deep, but also it's like, I don't know if we can handle, we've never seen you like be emotional, maybe, or maybe they have, but they feel like there is a well of emotion right there that you haven't really explained, or you don't allow people to travel towards a past with you in order to bring them up to speed, kind of a thing. Or if you do, you're very selective and rare about it. Now, this is giving me like Comic-Con vibes. You could be into like, I heard cross-dressing, so maybe that's a thing. Not for all of you, obviously, but maybe you're into like Comic-Con or anime and things like that. So you could be a little bit like flamboyant, and maybe you're taking like pieces of yourself and you're allowing those to be expressed through like art and fashion and the hairstyles that you wear and things like that. But people don't really know who you are. But I do feel like people see that you are very, very deep and very different, and that's incredibly alluring. So duh. 6 of Pentacles right here. Look, so this guy is like, oh my goodness, that's so pretty. I don't know if I've ever seen this card before, but I'm gonna say that people really want to harvest you. Hear me out. So I feel like you're not the pick me person. You're not like, oh, hey, pick me. And that's what's different about you, is I don't feel like this little tree right here is like, oh, hey, pick me. But because you're unusual on the terrain, maybe people see that everyone else comparatively to you is really kind of bland. Not that we're comparing and pitting ourselves against anyone else, but I feel like you could really draw people because you are growing, you are thriving, and it seems like you're so different than everyone else on the same terrain, maybe where you live. Everyone else is kind of like look the same and things like that, but you are definitely different. I feel like you kind of pop visually, is the impression that I'm getting, and that your energy is very alluring as well. And again, you could have, you could be somebody who works with like the 369 Tesla method, or you could be into subliminals or sound technology. I'm hearing even, oh my goodness, you know, when they weaponize sound waves and things like that. I can't think of the term, but anyways, I feel like you could be somebody who's interested in all of that. Maybe you work with that. And then the world with the number 21. I feel like this gives me this vibe right here all over again. Pile number 2, I feel like you help people to see things in a whole different manner, that regardless of where they're at or where they think they're at, that there's so much more to be understood and to go deeper. It's like walking through these walkways, through these portals, through really discover what it is that they're all about. Walking towards the sun, maybe a trip to the ocean is like important to you. I don't know. But I feel like all of this is incredibly compelling. It's beautiful. I'm going to say that you help people come out of darkness again. Did I mention that? And look at this. I never noticed this is actually a door. So I feel like you could be, again, and I know people get a little bit butthurt, but with the conspiracy theories, but you know, on the mountains that some of them actually have like these huge, ginormous doors. I think about that Lawson guy who disappeared after having his encounter with the doors and trying to prove, you know, and going on land that was off limits, even though it was a public area and things like that. But I feel like you could be somebody who really has an open mind towards that, and that you help people to really think about things in a whole different manner, to look at things as you can see. That's what it is. You can see synchronicities, you can see patterns in people because you've been able to identify patterns in yourself. And that's why you're actually very powerful. And I feel like you don't know it. Okay. So keep doing you. I'm all of a sudden seeing her dress is like a little fin. So I feel like you help people to really swim, but also to get an aerial view with all the birds up here that are vaguely visible. I feel like you help people get in touch, in tune, and tapped in. Oh, look, yay. Okay, so Three of Pentacles. I love these images, you guys, these cards. And again, I'm referencing my friend Helen from the Eye of the Serpent Tarot. So you're going to love her channel if you haven't been there yet. Not promoting, it's just they're friends of mine. And she had this deck she was doing a reading on, and I fell in love with it. So you could find on Etsy, the Highly Sensitive Tarot. Helen's not the creator, but she has some beautiful decks. You can check out her channel if interested. So Three of Pentacles, I feel like you established that and foster cooperation, collaboration. And look at, it's like all inclusive. When people come around you, they feel like warm. They feel like, wow, I want to, it's like sharing the sunshine with you, but then all of a sudden you like disappear and you go into hermit mode and you're like, 1 minute, we're family, we're together. And then next, where's pile number 2? On a plane, on a jet. That you are incredibly loyal, but you're also the most loyal to your dream. Something about dreaming, you could have dreams and aspirations that are really different from other people. You could be a pilot, a navigator. You could do something with like compass and maps and things like that. Or you could be somebody who actually does them, right? Something about loyalty right there. I feel like people can think that you sometimes you're loyal, but that all of a sudden you disappear and they feel like a little bit of disloyalty because you're chasing your dream and doing things that make you feel tapped in. And you do them by yourself a lot of times. I feel like I could hear people saying, well, pile number 2, why didn't you call me? I would have gone to see that movie with you, or I would have gone on that backpacking adventure with you, or I would have gone on that trip, that kind of a thing. So you could be someone like that, but people want to they feel family towards you. They feel connectivity. They feel a closeness. And I feel like that's why you help people. Well, that's why you're so popular. We're not going to eat the paint chips here, guys. So paint chip poetry, and I'm not going to spout poetry. I'm so rusty on that. Pile number 2, why are you so popular? Pins and needles. Wow. Maybe because I'm getting someone like standing on pins and needles and hopping from one foot to the other. You could have a restlessness about you that is really quite compelling, because people want to know, hey, why are you not 1,000% present? And I feel like you could be, such as myself, I was told that I was what was it? Like in your head all the time, that kind of a thing. So you could be a little bit of a dreamer, or even though you are present, you could seem to be in a trance a lot, and people don't really quite comprehend that. So what else do we have? Stop it. Do you ghost people? Do you just kind of like follow your dream and you're like gone, you know? So I feel like there could be people feeling maybe ghosted while you follow your dreams, that kind of a thing. An avalanche, yeah. So maybe you bring about a lot of emotions. These paint chips actually are pretty cool. And you keep people kind of guessing and not really sure about what is going on. But I feel like that is part of their awakening as well. And you're popular because you're elusive. People want to kind of catch you. They want to know, why are you on pins and needles? Why can't you just be like totally settled down? It seems like not that you have an agenda, but that you have a dream, that you're always reaching for that star. And you're like, almost got it, you know, but you help people to be able to really have their own personal dreams and things like that. With the avalanche right here, I feel like this is bringing about a lot of things that people try to hide from, especially with going within. Sorry, trying to clear my throat. With people trying to go within and do whatever it is they need to do. I feel like you help people. Maybe you trigger an avalanche of, they go within and they discover things, and now they have to deal with their own messes. It's like we can't travel with everybody step by step all the way. Even your healthcare providers, mental health care providers, they're going to be with you as check-in spots, as like maybe a guide, a navigator. Maybe you are a guide and a navigator to other people, and that's why you are popular. That would make sense to me, that you are actually in driver's seat and you're kind of a template for other people. Hey, go within. Hey, listen to yourself. Hey, you have a lot of power. And look, I'm getting this, and I feel like you are not. The Five of Swords to me indicates usually a lot of like deceit and things like that. But no, I feel like people think that you have a lot of like chess moves, that you bring about these like avalanches or maybe even tower moments in order for them to deal with their ish. But that's not you deliberately. And look at this person's like intent. I feel like you have an intent audience. Like even people that you don't know, people that you don't know watch you, but even people that you don't know watch you. That was so complicated, but I know you know what I'm talking about. Pile number 2, if you're liking my kind of readings, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check out my other channel. It's called PsychicMD, and I do have in the community tab readings for both of them for a giveaway. A giveaway is what I meant to say, for August 2024 on each channel. So that's what I have. Let me know what you think of these readings. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Thank you so, so much for being here. Much love to you. Namaste. Hi, pile number 3. My name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot. I would like to welcome all of you to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Even if you're stopping by, no worries. Pile number 3, you chose the image on the right-hand side of your screen. And the download I got was psychic and also medium. So I feel like you can channel very much like I can. And if you don't know it, I would say give it a whirl. You'd be surprised. Also, I got beauty and sensitive. You could be an indigo or identify as indigo or star child. You could have a love for mankind as well. You could have very deep humanitarian vibes, humanitarian ties to the community as well, or a desire to really fix and help elevate people in a way that you can't quite express. So let's see a little bit more about you. Pile number 3, why are you popular? And I know you is, look, popular. You're gonna be popular. It's not like a TikTok thing. It's like a trend for a while. So maybe you could be a TikToker, you could be on there, I don't know. But with the High Priestess, we have intuition, mystery, sensuality, combined with common sense. Now is the time to trust your instincts and go with your gut feeling. Never know. I think this is a cat. Is that a cat? I don't know what's going on here. I even have glasses on, y'all. That's not a cat. Okay, so she is, wow, she is really powerful. And this gives me a lot of Burning Man vibes. So maybe you guys could be into like Burning Man, things like that. But bottom line, I feel like High Priestess, you are definitely tuned in and tapped in. That's like echoing the download that we got from the actual image. Okay, so I feel like you already know that you have the ability to manifest and create, that you are a High Priestess, that you are the keeper of secrets. People feel like you know a lot of things and that you keep a lot of things to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So pile number 3, the reason why you're so popular, people want to come to you for your knowledge, your wisdom. In a land, what is that pup? I feel like, Fred, is that you? We have a little squirrel that sometimes throws nuts. I'm going to keep it moving. Anyways, I feel like, you operate within a terrain where it could be pretty bleak. It could be at times ominous. And we look at the world today in general, all over the world. And it could be a little bit like sad or a little bit dismal to look at, but I feel like you look at things different. And I feel like you also with your hands create things that other people like, wow, you're really doing that? And you're like, yep. And they might initially be intrigued and not say a lot, but I feel like you hold secrets of many centuries, of many lifetimes, of many experiences that you've had. You could be somebody that has been reincarnated several times before, or you could connect a lot with spirits and with your ancestors is what I'm getting specifically. So why are you popular? Pile number 3, shine bright like a candle. Shine bright like a diamond. You know I had to say that. So you'll make it through this. And I feel like, yeah, so you help people to really understand that things might be really dim and dismal and painful right now, but that they are going to make it through. I just want to show this fish is so cute. But I feel like you help people to see that they are going to make things through. And we have, you know, the nod to Van Gogh. And I feel like even with his story, it's kind of tragic because he wasn't really famous, I believe, that until after he, you know, passed away. And it kind of makes me mad. I'm not going to lie. But I feel pile number 2 that people really feel that they want to seek your company because you paint things in a different manner, that you are ahead of your time, that you see things that they cannot, and maybe you are somebody who can scry, you can fire scry, there's words for that. Maybe you're into like even water scrying, all sorts of divination. I heard dowsing, right? Things like that. But I feel like people are drawn to you because they're like, well, what else you got? You got a mixed bag of tricks. What else you got? Pile number 3. And I feel like you, through your magic, you lend other people to really think, well, what about my magic? Do I have any? That kind of a thing. Because initially they want to fawn over you, but then they're like, I think your intent is to really help people see that they have their own brand of magic and you bring out the best in people, or at least a curiosity so that they can start exploring from there, because it's taken a lot of work. I feel like maybe you came from this, from maybe absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden you embrace an energy and harnessed it that other people cannot see. And I'm talking about being able to harness a different perspective, go within and download like light codes and things like that. Or maybe you speak light language and I'm not, you know, that's not my thing, but it's a thing out there. So I'm just going to say that you have a lot of power within you that other people see, and they are compelled and they are moved. And with the number 2, I feel like that's always about balance as well. I'm hearing as above, so below. I'm hearing that you are here to be a light. Something about candle gazing and things like that. And pile number 3, I don't know if this means anything to you, but that's how I didn't learn that I had any gifts. I believe, first of all, everybody has gifts. It's just that we're not open to them, or we're scared of them, or we get talked out of them, or we just never do anything with them because we're busy with other stuff. I don't know. But when I was 4 years old, I was able to candle gaze and actually see my grandfather in the candle. And I thought that was normal because, you know, it was my life. And, you know, fast forward, like now I can look back in retrospect and think, well, what is normal, first of all, right? But I would say that's not typical. And anybody who is observing, you know, candles and bodies of water and things like that, and they can see images and have a real connectivity to it, that's a real powerful thing. So you could have been special from a long, long time. And people are definitely acknowledging that. They see that. And I feel like also you're protective about your energy, which is part of the secrecy, because people have been wanting to tap in and maybe use some of that for themselves. So why are you popular? Pile number 3, the 9 of Pentacles. Well, let's get closer. These images are amazing, amazing. So we have here, I feel like, is this an eagle? And usually it was a falcon. I don't know the difference because I'm not a bird expert. I'm just a reader. But listen, I feel like you have an incredibly powerful, compelling stare. I feel like, not that you deliberately like try to stare people down, you know, like a staring contest stuff and things like that. But I feel like you can look into people's soul, look into people's eyes, and really see what is there. Also, you can see and identify patterns. And I'm getting that through the image that we chose for you. But I'm going to say that you identify patterns in other people, and you have the ability to look at them dead in the eye and be like, bruh, you know, you're lying to yourself kind of a thing. So I feel like you're very direct. You're very self-contained, self-sufficient. This is all about like when you've had to do a lot of things by yourself. With the icy, I almost said capillaries. That means it makes no sense. But with the ice caps right back here, I'm going to say that you did not have it easy, that maybe wherever you went, you could have been like iced out, freezed out, or they didn't appreciate these ideas the same way as this. And I feel like you were left to your own resources kind of a thing. And out of that, you know, it's almost like drop me off to the wolves and I'll come leading the pack mentality. And I feel like that's very much you. You make things out of seemingly nothing. You bring beauty where there is none. You bring hope where there is none, and you bring a lot of power with you that you wield without even knowing. I feel like you could be, I don't know, I'm all of different ethnicity doesn't mean anything because that's, you know, different to whom. But I feel like you are a different breed, even among your own community. So, anyways, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So, oh, you could be beautiful, duh. Pile number 3. Why are you so popular? Because you're intense. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah. People want to party with you. They want to hang out with you. They want to rub elbows. They want to be seen. They want to take selfies with you. Let's not kid ourselves. When it comes to that whole ball dropping and we're going to celebrate another new year, which that's a whole totally different topic. I feel like people want to be next to you where they're like, okay, you know, kiss my, if someone said kiss the one you love, which I thought was kind of cute. So we have the 3 of Cups right here. And I think that's very, very beautiful. It feels like your personality could be very magical, very effervescent. You could actually serve to lift people up. People can actually feel high or giddy around you, intoxicated. And then the Tower, yeah. Well, not a surprise there. I feel like people, they're like, what the hell? I had an experience with pile number 3 and then my whole world crashed. So it could be, I feel, even with the lightning bolt right here being shown, that you actually bring truths and spout reality to people and that their whole foundation, you know, because we tend to build on things that are illusionary unless you're waking up or unless you get spiritual real fast. And it's easy to do. What else are you going to do but do what you were taught? Now I'm seeing a rainbow on my camera. It's kind of annoying. That is not the intent, but here we are. So maybe something to do with rainbows. Maybe your light refracts on people's lives in such a way that they see things quite differently, that all of a sudden they see that a structure that they've had formerly or currently in their life needs to really come down. And they're kind of like, well, I know it does. And I don't like it either, but now what? That kind of a thing. So sorry, I'm not laughing, but look at all the pink skies and all the cotton candy like clouds. I feel like you help people to really dream as well. And maybe perhaps people that have experienced tower moments want to get back to this energy with you. They want to be around you and get into, yeah, you help people look at things from a different perspective. And this arcoiris thing, this rainbow is getting on my nerves. Let's, I guess, go here for the moment. The sun is rising and it, yeah, I'm going to have to do something about this window for when I read. Anyways, pile number 3. If you're liking this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. This is my second channel. My very first channel is called PsychicMD, where I have over 700 videos for your viewing pleasure. Similar in nature, but a little bit wild and over there, not going to lie. I also have in the community tabs giveaways on each one, so you might want to check those out. Pile number 3, you help people look at things from a higher perspective. You help people to seemingly like you've glided through troubles, glided through life. And I don't feel like that is the truth. I feel like you've labored hard. You've done a lot of homework. You have really elevated your sense of thinking and your sense of feeling, and you've sacrificed much. But when people come around you, they think, well, you've always been a high priestess or high priest and you've always had these skills. Well, always what? Like always since you met me, or always from your perspective? I mean, even people that know you don't really understand like the real sacrifices that you make. They don't really comprehend it. They just feel like she was born with it. I don't know. So I feel like you could be deeply misunderstood. You could be thought as being otherworldly, right? You could be thought of as maybe even bringing tower moments into people's lives. Like you come in and you're all magic and roses and fun. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh crap, wait, I got to change. what I believe or who I am, or I gotta change my life. And I don't think that you do this deliberately, like the have tos. This is the bomb card. We're gonna put it right here. But I definitely feel like you inspire people. And after they meet you, pile number 3, they are not the same. And furthermore, we are not the same. Like you, pile number 3, are not the same as everyone else. And that's what makes you sometimes feel isolated, feel alone. Yeah, you could be a little bit reclusive, things like that. But I feel like, look at the contrast here. You contrast so well with other people, and that sounds really weird, but you're very popular because you're such a contrast, such a puzzle, such an enigma, and people get addicted to you, like very much so. And you can have people that want to like stalk you or like be you, that kind of a thing. And it can get dark and sinister, but I feel like you have your intuition and you kind of navigate that. You have a higher perspective. So you know when people are becoming dependent upon you, upon your energy, and not wanting to take responsibility or take their own power, or even visit the idea that they too have abilities that they can utilize in order to transform and change their own lives and things like that. So this is part of the reason why you are popular. These cards are so bomb. La, 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 la. Okay, here. And why are you popular? Pile number 3. Well. Need we say anything else? I feel like you're very humble, but you do show people. It's almost like I feel like you show people out of the matrix. Even at times you could have lit yourself on fire to really give light to other people, but I feel like you're not doing that any longer. I definitely feel like you are humble. I feel like you're in tune with the moon, with spirit, with higher self, whatever you want to call it. And you're incredibly magical and very powerful and compelling. And her lips are like sealed on all images so far. Well, except for these, right? With the selfies. But I feel like you could be somebody who doesn't like really smile wide or smile with your teeth, or you can smile, not necessarily, but you could braid your hair. You could have, did you guys know back in the day that braids was a way of like how the slaves would communicate with one another? And I guess like depending on how, if they had like box braids, not that I know a lot about braiding, so please don't take offense, but I feel like it's so beautiful and powerful and clever and compelling the way they were able to kind of braid the hair to communicate, you know, what is going on, so that they could be safe and they can maybe even make it to freedom and things like that. That's a side note. I don't know. But pile number 3, maybe you're into like motorcycles or that kind of a gear. Maybe you like the leather, or I don't know, something about fashion, something about the way that you dress is really unusual and different and exciting for people. And why are you popular? Initially, I thought it was an Ace of Cups, but it's not. It's a 4 of Cups. So we see here a figure kissing another figure. And I feel like you could mirror people. And people, it's like, you know, when you, in the old school cartoons where they would get like a head concussion and it would be depicted by these little birds floating around the head and they're all chirping, you know, like you got a headache and things like that. I feel like, look at all the sacred geometry going on here. The flower of life almost is what's alluding to a lot of emotion. So pile number 3, I feel like you are a whole bag of chips and then some. Let's just say that. So pile number 3, I feel like with the 4 of emotions, usually this is about like lost opportunity. And I feel like people can feel like they have missed out with you, that they felt some deep connection, that they felt a certain kind of a way. And they felt like a deep attraction. Not only that, but somehow, some way they felt like they have met you in another life, like instant connection. Like, don't I know you? And it's not a pickup line kind of a vibe. And I feel like your depth really compels people. Your magic does as well. But the way that you see life in general also. And I feel like with the 4 of emotions, this is a lost opportunity. Maybe people look at you and they're, the reason why you're popular is that you're the one that got away. You're the girl that got away, the guy that got away, the dream guy, the dream girl, that kind of a thing. And I feel like long after you are gone or like moved on to different terrain, people look at you and they want to look and see you in other people, if that makes sense. So it could be that In dating, for example, they look at your energy and other people like that, and they haven't been able to match it. They look for your twin, actually, but they're never going to find it, because although even twins can be twins, but they are individuals, right? So I feel like people are left with, oh, that makes, look at this. We have the Three of Cups left, right? And then the Major Cups. People feel around you like seen, like you get them, you see them. And it is quite a high to have that involvement, but I feel like people get attached to you, where you're meant to be more of a catalyst, more of a let me show you the way, okay, I gotta go kind of a thing, and discover your own magic is what I keep hearing. But I feel like the same way these glasses are being portrayed here, this is like mind, body, heart, and soul. Like you get people on a deep level, and that you help them to have like an effervescence about themselves, that you start pointing things out, or start like they want to find that energy and match that in other people. And the minute that this sparkly, glittery, feel good thing is gone, that emotion, which would be you, by the way, people tend to look at it, look for it everywhere. They look for you everywhere. They could stalk you on social media. They could, you know, try to pretend they're other people in order to interact. They control you, all sorts of things. But it's a missed opportunity, and they feel a certain kind of way. The way she's sitting on top of the water, it's almost with her head in the hand. It's like people lose their stability, and often they lose their minds, okay? And I know you know for a fact this is a thing. So that is what I have for you, my beautiful pile number 3s. Much love to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the subscribers, or just stopping through. Thank you so much. And I hope all of you do super well. Until next time, namaste.